Here we are again, another vlog, and I'm back in the altitude chamber in Brighton University having a 2-hour session working on a familiarisation test today. We're going to be taking some oxygen samples, and I've got my pack on, 16 kilos. I don't know if you can see, but my boots are on. So yeah, 2-hour session, training going well. And we're going to be ramping up the incline on the ramp here to mimic some of the inclines I'll be encountering on Aconcagua, but 4,500 metres simulated altitude. So yeah, catch you in a bit. So I'm 45 minutes into the session on an incline now of 20%, and what I'm doing is a 10-minute time segment at 0%, 15%, 20%, and then 25% incline. Aconcagua from base camp up being roughly 26 to 27% gradient on average. We're doing gas samples of 60 seconds every 10 minutes on each new incline at the end of each 10-minute interval. Just let me get my breath back. I'm at 4,500 metres simulated altitude, which is just above base camp height. We're doing RPE, relative perceived exertion, and also oxygen saturation as well. 16 kilo pack on, as I said, and just trying to get some data with conditions as close as we can get them in a lab environment to that which I might encounter on the mountain. I'm trying to predict some calorific requirements for certain key stages on the mountain to help gauge nutritional strategy and have a better idea of output. So that's what we're doing. Going to be taking another gas sample shortly. So yeah, onwards. Getting tough now. I'm on my second set of 10-minute intervals at 25% incline, 1.6 k an hour, which is the upper spectrum of the pace I'll be going at on Aconcagua above base camp. And I'm playing around with technique that I saw from high altitude mountaineer called Don Bowie, and he talked about pursed lip breathing for helping breathing at high altitude without using oxygen. And the technique is to breathe in, but as you breathe out through pursed lips, so that it reduces the expiration of CO2 and increases your uptake. So it looks a bit like this. And it's not too dissimilar, to be honest, to the hardstyle breathe method of breathing in kettlebells, whereby in that we're using the breath to be able to control tension in the midsection and limit the amount of breathing that might leave the body compared to breathing like this, where there's less regulation. Anyway, so far I'm finding that the technique is really helping to make my experience at simulated altitude way more comfortable, and I think it's helping to keep my stats better with better oxygen uptake. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you as part and parcel of the journey as to how I'm adapting to this high altitude lifestyle. Aloha. So different setting now. I'm back home. Had a really good session in the altitude chamber today. I was in there for about 1 hour and 3/4. Ended up doing 3 10-minute efforts on a 25% incline, 4,500 meters simulated altitude.
16 kilo pack, and summit boots, and felt pretty comfortable. The guys, Bobby and Gregor, who were looking after me in there, took a load of data reading, said I was looking pretty strong. So yeah, things are good. But now I'm home, I also wanted to show you the most recent update that's come my way, which is my recent sleeping situation at home, which is also going to help me to acclimatise, or put me in the best position to acclimatise as best as possible come January. So I'm just going to show you that now. Okay, so this is a sight not many people get to see, the Shore Boudoir, and my bed has got a recent addition to it, and it's a space age thing, which is altitude tent. So this has been hired from the altitude centre. What I've basically got here is a hypoxic generator, which creates the altitude setting that I want it to go on. There's a tube that comes down here, in through the plastic, and then feeds the air in through this device, and basically this whole unit here is where ouch, that's my head on the ceiling. Yeah, basically that gets all zipped up, so it's a completely contained unit, and I sleep in there at an altitude that is recommended by the altitude centre in London, training programme for that. And gradually over the weeks and the nights, I increase the altitude on that. So I've done one night in it so far. I've done 2 nights in it so far, but the second night I could not sleep at all. I'm not quite sure what that is, but anyway, it was difficult to sleep. But this old generator here, it's a noisy old affair, so I'm having to sleep with earplugs in. So it's a real committed effort to the cause, this. But if it helps me stand on top of that mountain, it's going to be worth all of the effort. And yeah, just trying to put myself in the best possible position. So there you go. That is the altitude tent that I'm using about 5 nights a week right now. So anyway, there you go. That's what I've been up to. Things are going really well. And short training session tomorrow. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be doing 2 bouts of an hour using an intermittent hypoxic exposure method, which I'll talk about in another blog because this one's going on long enough and I don't want to bore you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. Not long to go now until the expedition starts. I'm still seeking additional sponsorship and donations, so if there's anybody out there that is on board with what I'm doing, wants to support me, wants to help support me in obtaining some money towards the mountain licence fee and the other remaining bits of kit that I need to get, then any donations are gratefully received, and that is in my GoFundMe page down at the bottom in the description here on my YouTube channel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next update. Ciao!